Alright, there we go. What is up, people? I'm here. I'm just trying to figure out where the heck I am here. Let me get to this comment section.
Sterilized sites.
Multiple foreign objects in the body.
Scissors.
If you're the guy from the operation game, you get operated on. It's what you do.
Alright, I'm here. Sorry I had to get the stream up and running. I literally just reset my modem and router because I was dropping frames. Of course, you can thank Time Warner as always for the lovely service that I pay a lot of money for that never works right. Because Time Warner is amazing. Not really. So what is going on, people? What is happening? I'm watching my Mets right now at the same time that I'm doing this. They're up 4-2 in the ninth inning with looks like one out already now. How's your week going? Did you guys have anybody in on Thursday Night Football? I had Devontae Freeman, and the guy is on fire. I said, screw it. I know everybody's gonna pick him for FanDuel, but might as well. When the guy's scoring that much points, you gotta get him. A lot of people like stocked like the whole Thursday night game list in there, which is crazy. I don't know why somebody would do that, but you got to take advantage of all the different people that could score through the week, not just one. I mean, I could see if it was just a Thursday night only thing, but it was like, a lot of people do that. It's strange to me, but whatever, it is what it is. Let's get into this. We start asking some questions. Bears fan 50 or answering questions, not asking. If I'm asking, what am I doing here? So anyways, is Dorial Green Beckham worth holding on to, or should I drop him for someone like Michael Rudolph, Michael Floyd, or Brandon Coleman? Right now I don't even like any of those three either, but I don't know if he's worth holding on to just yet, because it doesn't seem like they're using him as much just yet. It seems like the Kendall Wright's the man still right now. It just doesn't seem like Dorial Green Beckham is. I watched a Tennessee game and I barely even saw him play last week. So, and if he did, I didn't even notice him because they didn't throw to him. So I don't know if he's worth holding on to yet. You never know. This fantasy season's so weird with wide receivers. It's been crazy, and it's just been unbelievable with how many different wide receivers are doing good each game. You never know who's going to be good. I mean, there's the consistent ones, obviously, Julio Jones. There's been consistent ones here and there. Julian Edelman's going to be consistent. I mean, Antonio Brown hasn't been now because Ben Roethlisberger's out. But, like, there's just been, the consistency with those. But then there's just all these other ones. And there's just, like, Sammy Watkins sucked pretty much this year. Nobody's thrown to him. It's just been the people that you don't know are going to be good are being good. And next thing you know, the other ones aren't. So it's been strange. But there's definitely some free agents out there, free agent waiver wire pickups probably that can be decent to pick up. I don't know about Brandon Coleman. I haven't seen him really of the Saints at all. It seems like Willie Snead is taking his job because Willie Snead is the man right now in New Orleans. He's getting a lot of targets. I'm talking a lot of targets. He's getting more targets than Brandon Cooks is. So I really like Snead a lot. I actually picked him up in my league as well. The guy has just been on fire, so I was like, if he's available, I'm going to pick him up, and I picked him up. Big Earlobe, what's up? Lamar Miller from Mike Evans. At this point, what does it matter, right? I mean, if you need a wide receiver, sure, but both of them haven't done anything all year long. Lamar Miller might pick it up now, who knows, but it just seems like both of them are just not worth it. I knew Mike Evans was going to drop off this year, and the reason I knew it is because of Jameis Winston. He's not ready yet. I mean, he's still a rookie. Mike Evans probably be good next year, or maybe towards the end of the year this year, so maybe he might be worth holding on to the end of the year if you make the playoffs. Him and Winston will probably develop that rapport together by the end of the year that will help you. It looks like the Mets just won. Yep, the Mets just won. It's a final 4-2 over the Cubs. Let's go Mets. Game over. First game of the season there, or first game of the series is over. It's 1-0 Mets. Makes me happy. I can put this away now. I was watching it on my phone. The Watch TBS app is awesome. All right, Ryan Tannehill, Matthew Cranky, or Crank. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. I apologize. I am not, the best of, the best reader here. Ryan Tannehill or Matthew Stafford or Jay Cutler. I have to start two. Oh, you can start two quarterbacks. I would say Tannehill and Cutler. Stafford is just, he's been horrible. I would say Tannehill and Cutler. Cutler's on fire right now. So you might as well start him, and definitely Tannehill with the Titans. I don't think he's going to do great, but I think he's going to do better than Stafford. He had Ryan, dude, fumbled so much. Yeah, he was under pressure the whole game. The Saints, of all people, applying pressure. I don't know what was going on, but they're I don't know. Anthony Garcia, your damn Mets beat my Dodgers. Good series, though. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. I haven't seen the Mets in the playoffs for a long time, so it feels great. Cubs will come back. I don't know. I mean, all they have is Arrieta. So, my wife is texting me. I don't know. They only have Arrieta. That's what it seems like. I mean, that's pretty much their only good pitcher. Tim Lester was their other one, and we saw what happened to him today. So, we'll see. The Mets have like 3 or 4 good pitchers, so we'll see what happens. But the Cubs owned them all year. This is the first win the Mets even beat the Cubs this year. So, you never know. You could be right. I hope not, though, because I want my Mets to make it to the series. Let's see. I'm dropping frames here. So if you guys are seeing like a lot of buffering and things like that, that's what's happening. Like I said, blame Time Warner. I'm trying to refresh to hopefully get this thing straight. Trying to refresh myself to get this thing ready. Hopefully it doesn't drop too many frames. If it starts dropping a lot of frames, it might have to cut the show short early. So I'll try to get to all the questions that I can now. But I might have to cut this short because I don't want to blow my gasket and freak out and call Time Warner and then threaten to kill them, because that's what I'll do usually, and I don't like it. Like Sneed, dislike his hair. Martellus Bennett, if he plays, or Antonio Gates. I'm telling you right now, Gates. This is Martellus Bennett, for some reason in September, always does well. Then he drops off for a while, and I think this is one of those cases where this is what's happening right now. But, I mean, he's still good every now and then, but I don't think he's good over Gates. You saw what Gates did. His first game back, he's already, he finds holes, he gets open, and Phillip Rivers loves throwing to him. So I would say Gates over Bennett every time. Jordan Matthews over Martavis Bryant. I don't trust Martavis Bryant right now. Not with Vic, not yet. He's a good pickup, yes. When Ben Roethlisberger comes back, Martavis Bryant's going to be a must-start all the time. Him and Antonio Brown. But for right now, Jordan Matthews over Bryant. And the cornerback for the Giants is hurt. Akamura, I can't say his name. I'm sorry. Prince Nakamura Mora or something. Whatever his name is, he's a good corner for the Giants. He's out. He's their main corner. Not Rogers Cromartie, but him. He's the main corner. Jordan Matthews might have a field day on Sunday night. Or Monday night, sorry. Let's see. Is LaFell worth picking up? If he's back, yes, because Brady likes to throw to him as well. Gates and Matthews, we'll see what JT says. I definitely said both the same thing. LaFell is worth pick. Oh, another thing real quick. For those of you, if you're watching and you message me to write, I'm not just two things. I'm not just looking for only fantasy football. I'm looking for NFL bloggers, people that can write about baseball if you know about baseball, people that can write about basketball if you follow basketball. I'm looking for writers, period. Just writers that can write about different things. If you want to handle certain jobs, I can do that. when I see your writing, I'll get to that in a minute, but I'll basically want to see what you guys can write, what you guys can do, and then I'll determine who's going to write what when I figure it out. It won't be just doing certain things or one thing only. It would be writing about different things, and I'm going to have a team that does everything together. We all work together, basically. There will be meetings and things like that, but that will come when I'm in the process of type. I didn't realize I was going to get so many responses. I thought I was only going to get like a few because not many people like to write, but apparently a lot of people do. So what I'm trying to do is write out something that's more professional to give to you guys, so that if you guys do end up writing, we have a system in place, we have a way we do things, and that way things will get out better. There'll be a schedule, there'll be things for it. The only thing I cannot do is pay anybody, so I don't make money off the website. I pay money for the website to be on, but the only thing I can do is pay anybody. But eventually what I'm hoping is there will be rewards, meaning as the site progresses, if it gets really good, if things happen, there's other things that you can get, press passes to games, you can get things like that. So it'll be able to you'll be able to watch games, do things, you'll be able to go to events and things for free, basically. So those are the things I can offer when the time comes and those kind of things happen. So we'll see how that goes along, but I'm writing out everything right now to get basically a contract, not contract, but something written that you guys will adhere to, that you guys will have to follow to be able to write on the MagnumSportsNetwork.com. All right, so that's it for that. But let's move on now real quick. Was adding Cutler and drop Tyrod Taylor a good move? Right now, it looks like a good move because Jay Cutler is doing well. Tyrod Taylor is not. He's hurt. And it looks like he's going to be hurt for a while. So that's pretty much a good pickup. If you could pick him up and maybe stash him on your bench, if you got room on your bench, you could stash Tyrod Taylor for that. But right now, that's a pretty good move. Drop LaFell for Anquan Bolden. I don't know. Bolden's, you never know with Bolden. It's like 1 week good, 1 week not. 1 week good, you never know with him. It's all in the matchups, who they're playing. This week they're playing the Ravens, so Bolden might go off. I personally think it's Torrey Smith that's going to have the time this week, but you never know. Maybe both will go off. But Brandon LaFell is, when you got Brady throws to everybody, and Brady throws to LaFell. He likes LaFell too, just as much as I like Edelman. So LaFell can get a lot of catches. PPR, I have Gore and Ivory as my running backs. Was going to flex for Seth, but I'm worried about his injury. So I could either use Vereen or Woodhead. Use Vereen. Yeah, use Vereen. I would say Vereen this week against the Eagles. Woodhead's a good choice too. I mean, in Green Bay as well. But either one of those is a good choice over if you're not going to put Forsett in. I mean, even for the PPR period, it's probably better than Forsett because he's probably going to get more catches. Yeah, if you emailed me, chances are I emailed you back saying that I was working on everything, and then I'll be getting back to everyone. So I saved everybody's emails. It doesn't matter. Royals are taking it. Yeah, the Royals look good so far. They're already up 2-0. Let's see. The Royals are like the Bills from the 90s. They make it to the series and lose. I'm a Mets fan. I thought you'd be a Giant. No, I'm not from San Francisco. I like the 49ers, but I'm from New York. I just moved actually up to upstate New York from Queens, so I actually lived down the street from the stadium. I find when I was living in Queens, I used to be able to go to the Mets games. I wish I was there now so I could be able to go, but unfortunately I live pretty far away now. I live like 6 hours from New York. I live near Buffalo, actually, since you're talking about the Bills. I live near Buffalo. Now, I'm not in Buffalo, but I live near it. What are your thoughts on Jordan Cameron? He's getting a lot of targets. I would say that. He's getting targets now. It's starting to come up. But the problem I hate about Jordan Cameron, he's always hurt. He always seems to get hurt. And I don't know what his problem is, but he always can't stay in games. But I like Jordan Cameron a lot. I mean, he's a good big target if they use him. And that's the thing. Right now, you got to monitor him. Right? You got to see if you watch him. I had Jordan Cameron. I dropped him. So if he starts picking up, then, hey, it's my fault. But I dropped him. I couldn't take him anymore in my league. I just dropped him. So we'll see what happens with him. But I was able to pick up Gary Barnidge a while ago. So I dropped him actually for a good, decent player. So that's been killing it. Pick 2 standardly. I saw it coming a while before that. I saw the way McCown was throwing to Barnidge, and I was like, I'm going to pick this dude up because he's catching balls, he's doing well, and this other guy isn't, so I might as well put him in there. And Barnidge has done me well. Pick 2, Standard League. Forsett, if he plays, Gore, Stewart, or Miller. Miller will get more touches. What do you think of him? Lamar Miller's going to get touches, but I just don't like him right now. He's just not playing well. They got a new coach and everything, so maybe now they'll maybe use him right, but we'll see what happens with him. I think he's going to lose his job when Jay Ajayi comes back off the injured reserve list. He's on that injured reserve list until I think 6 or 7 weeks to the season. When Jay Ajayi comes back, I think he's going to take Miller's job. The only thing with him was he wasn't able to block and pass protect, so I think Miller might end up coming in on third downs. But I think it's going to be Jay Ajayi and then Miller on third downs. But in that, I would say Forsett, if he plays, you definitely got to play Forsett, even though he's playing the Niners. The Niners are doing well against the run at home, but it doesn't matter. I would still play Forsett. I actually like Gore this week. Again, I don't like Stewart against the Seattle Seahawks defense. I do like Gore against New England's defense. Even though, New England's going to be trying to kill Indianapolis after what happened last year. But I still see Gore being able to do better than Stewart or Miller. Cutler or Luck for starting quarterback. This is hard. At the beginning of the year, I would tell you Luck. And look at this. We're at the middle of the year, and here I am struggling to figure it out right now. I would say Luck if he starts, but do you take the chance of him not starting? I have this problem right now. I have Andrew Luck, and I wish I could trade him, but at the moment I can't. But they're gonna give me nothing for him. So, Cutler. They're playing Detroit this week. Detroit has been horrible against the pass. Detroit has been horrible, period. And New England's defense has been playing a lot better than advertised. So I would actually probably say Cutler over Luck. But being that Indianapolis is probably going to be behind by a lot, I'm going to have to say Luck because he's going to have to throw for a lot of yards. He's going to have to throw a lot. He's hurt and he's going to have to throw a lot. So I would say Luck. Add Snead and drop Terrence Williams. Yes. Drop Terrence Williams. He's doing nothing right now. He's not going to do anything until Tony Romo comes back. And by then, Snead is getting tons of targets. I don't know if you've been seeing him or watching the games, New Orleans games, but I watched the game on Thursday night too. He's getting tons of targets. He got tons of targets the week before as well. He didn't do great, but he's getting tons of targets. He's getting more. The more and more targets he get, the more and more catches he's going to get, the more and more yards he's going to get, touchdowns and things like that. So he's playing well. Melvin Gordon or TJ Yeldon. I have to say TJ Yeldon over Melvin Gordon right now. Melvin Gordon's just not getting the reps in San Diego. They seem like they like Woodhead more right now. They love using Woodhead because Woodhead can catch the ball out of the backfield. TJ Yeldon, he caught a touchdown pass the other day, and he's been running hard. So, and who else do you have in Jacksonville to run the ball? There's just nobody else. Dorian Green-Beckham, is he a good pickup? I don't like him right now. I like him in the future. Just not right now. I don't think by the end of the year, maybe he'll get it. He'll start getting more targets, but he's another rookie. He's just not doing it right now, so I don't think he's ready. Charkandrick West or C.J. Anderson. I'm going to have to tell you Charkandrick West. He seems like the guy right now in Kansas City. It seems like he's the guy they want to use more. C.J. Anderson might have a good week this week, but I don't know about that moving forward. So if you're talking about this week, I would say C.J. Anderson because I think Charkandrick West doesn't have that great of a matchup this week against Minnesota, although they will give up rush yards every now and then. But I think C.J. Anderson has a better one, and I think Ronnie Hillman's hurt this week against Cleveland. Not sure if he's playing, so if he doesn't play, it's definitely good to insert what's his face? I forgot the name already. Within 2 seconds, I forgot his name. C.J. Anderson. Forsett, who's the best flex start? Ty Montgomery, Ted Ginn Jr., Chris Thompson, Theo Riddick, or Jamison Crowder. Holy crap. I would say Ty Montgomery. Good flex play right there because he's going to get a lot of targets from Aaron Rodgers. And James Jones has a hamstring problem. Of course, Devontae Parker's out. So there's a lot of receivers, not doing well. Eddie, what's his name? Randall Cobb has a shoulder problem. He's been having it the whole year. So Ty Montgomery's a good player right now. He's gonna get a lot of targets. The Cubs will come back. Forsett, Hyde, Lacey, pick 2. I don't know. Right now, Forsett and Hyde are both hurt. and Lacey. I would say Lacey definitely. He's the one that's not hurt out of the three. And if Forsett can go, I would pick Forsett just because he gets targets out of the backfield catching too. So I think Hyde's going to get spelled. I think Jared Haynes going to play a lot in this game. I think Mike Davis is going to play a lot in this game. You're not going to see a lot of Hyde in this game. He's got a hurt foot, and they're going to limit him. They're not going to let him play the whole game. And that answers your question, Jay Walsh. I don't think he's going to have a great game this game. I think they're going to limit him. I think it's going to be a combination of a three-headed monster at running back. PPR, Allen Robinson, Dante Moncrief, Marvin Jones, Ty Montgomery. Definitely Allen Robinson. I have to pick two. I would say Allen Robinson, and if Luck plays, Moncrief. But the problem is you don't know if Luck's playing, so do you take the chance? If you don't take the chance, I'd take Ty Montgomery. Is TJ Yeldon worth a start? Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry. Allen Robinson and Marvin Jones, because the Bills are going to be keying on A.J. Green so much. Marvin Jones is going to get a lot of opportunities. Is TJ Yeldon worth a start this week? Whoa, I lost that whole thing there. Who's Jacksonville playing again? They are playing Houston. With the way Houston's defending, probably. Giovanni Bernard or Forsett. I would have to say Giovanni Bernard because he's definitely playing. He's not going to get much on the ground against the Bills, maybe, but he is still running hard lately, and he's been the guy over Jeremy Hill this year. I'm shocked because I thought Jeremy Hill was going to just completely make Giovanni Bernard trade bait, basically, but it hasn't been that way. It's been the opposite. So I have to say Giovanni Bernard. Picked up Ahmad Bradshaw, have Forsett and Gore. If he plays, I'm playing Justin, but the slim pickings had me pick both Bradshaw and Gore. If Forsett sits, bad move. Best option is James Starks. Yeah, you got a lot of backups, basically, except for Forsett and Gore. Forsett goes, obviously play Forsett. Bradshaw wouldn't play in the first game. I would play James Starks because at least you know he's going to get a lot of carries. At least you know he's going to spell Eddie Lacy a lot. So I would play James Starks. I'm not sure how much Bradshaw could play immediately for the Colts. Should I add Matt Castle as a sneaky pickup? It could be. I mean, for the Cowboys, yeah. I mean, they got that offensive line. They can protect him. He can throw if he got some protection. But I would wait on that. I mean, there's like a ton of quarterbacks, that are better than probably Matt Castle right now. Which two should I start? Chris Johnson, Carlos Hyde, Lamar Miller, or DeMarco Murray? I like DeMarco Murray this week. I know the Giants have been tough against the run, but I actually like him this week. They finally figured out a little bit how to use him. So I think DeMarco Murray is going to be a sneaky go off on the Giants day. I think it's going to be one of those days for him. Chris Johnson's been running hard. Like I told you already about Carlos Hyde. Not sure what he's going to do. I'm not sure how that's going to work because they're going to spell him a lot. His toe's messed up. I don't like Lamar Miller at all. I don't care if he's playing the Titans or whoever they're playing. Yeah, the Titans. I don't care. I'm not a fan of Lamar Miller this year. Just never have been. I still think Jay Ajayi is going to take his job. So I would say Chris Johnson even against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I would say Chris Johnson and DeMarco Murray. What do you think of Christine Michael? I picked him up. The minute I found out he was going to be the starter, which I knew he was going to end up being the starter. I told Siggy that. I knew he was going to end up being the starter because why did they trade for him? And he just seems to be the more explosive guy. He was highly touted out of college. I like him. And so I picked him up. And then they, as soon as I heard that. So we'll see what happens. But I like him a lot. And I do like Charkandrick West as well. A lot of people picked up Nile Davis in the league. I guess they didn't pay attention to the games or whatever. But like I said, I have a heads up. I watch a lot of games. Like I'm cycling through the games every Sunday. I'm watching all different stuff. And I saw that he played a lot. I looked at the stat lines. As soon as I saw Jamal Charles get hurt, I checked the stat lines, checked everything, and I saw Charkandrick West was the guy. And I was like, everybody's going to pick Nile Davis because that's immediately the guy they think of. I said, watch Charkandrick West be the dude. So I picked him up, and sure enough, that's all they've been talking about all week. So that's a good pickup because I heard he's pretty good. He's no Jamal Charles, but he's good, I heard. Should I add Antonio Andrews? He's another good guy to probably add, especially this week going against Miami. Miami has no run defense. They suck against the run. I mean, unless they tied it up this bye week and figured it out or whatever, and now they're going to play good. But I don't trust it. They've been giving up yards all year. So I would play him. Yeah, play him. It depends on who else you got. I mean, it depends on who you want to drop. But, I mean, I had players available. I had a lot of people injured, so I was just dropping them and picking up people. Antonio Andrews is one of the guys I picked up in my second league. Drop Terrence Williams and add Mohamed Sanu. He's been getting a lot of targets lately. He's another guy. Terrence Williams just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what's going on with him, but he just like fell off. He's been just garbage. But I would definitely I like Sanu. He gets a lot of targets too, but with Marvin Jones, AJ Green, and him, it's hard to see who's going to be who's going to get the targets as much. But I would wait, because you're basically picking up the same player as Terrence Williams, kind of. What's your FanDuel looking like this week? Boy, Camber, you love FanDuel, don't you? I'll tell you one of my lineups. I got a crazy lineup. I'll tell you that one. I got one of those lineups that, like, when you look at it, you're like, what? Why? But some sneaky good players. Blake Bortles, $7,300. Ronnie Hillman, if he plays, I'm not sure if he's gonna play yet, so I might take him out and put C.J. Anderson. But Ronnie Hillman's in there right now. Charkandrick West is in there this week. Alan Hearns, DeAndre Hopkins, Eric Decker, Antonio Gates, Santos, the kicker from Kansas City, and the Denver Broncos defense. Like I said, I might swap Ronnie Hillman out. I'm debating or not, because I've heard he's hurt. So I'm not sure if he's going to play. So I'm a little nervous. When I see those questionable marks or questionable tags on players, I get a little nervous, and I don't want to take the chance of me having to you can't take them out. So once you're in there, it's too late. And if they get hurt during the game, I want them healthy for the whole game. So we'll see. Should I add Antonio Andrews? Yes. I have Peterson, Lewis, C.J. Anderson, Christine Michael. Would you drop C.J. or Michael for Niall Davis? No, don't drop anybody for Niall Davis yet. I don't think Niall Davis is going to be the main guy. I think he's going to be a third down back at the moment still. And Christine Michael, again, with that offensive line for Dallas, keep him, hold on to him. He might be a beast. Should I trade Eddie Lacy for McCoy and Gurley? Yeah, that might be a good move. McCoy's back, and Gurley has been a beast lately. You're giving up one player that hasn't done much for two players that could possibly go off. Do you watch Rick and Morty, though? Who's Rick and Morty? That will probably answer your question. No, I don't know who the heck that is. Thanks. Also, do you like Gates or Bennett this week? PPR. I like Gates. I definitely said that earlier. You probably weren't here, but I like Gates over Bennett, yes. What is your thoughts, active or inactive, on Deion Lewis Monday night? Active. He's going to be active. I think I read it that he was going to be active. He's got something wrong with his abdomen, or strained abdomen or something like that, but he'll be active. He was participating in practice. I read the whole thing about him. He's fine. Since Justin is injury, should I start Chris? Should I start Chris Johnson? Justin who? And should you start Chris Johnson over who? That's basically the question I'll ask you for that one. Do you see, where am I? Do you see the Vegas lines when playing DFS? What's DFS? What do you think of Christine Michael, and what do you think of Christine Michael and Charkandrick West? Should I drop Miller for one of them? I like Christine Michael and I like Charkandrick West. I already talked about them, and I would definitely drop Lamar. I don't like Lamar Miller. Doug Martin's a good keep him for a while. Everybody talking about Charles Sims, but Doug Martin's been the guy. I have Luck and Tyrod. I'm not sold on Luck yet, but should I drop T.I. to get Stafford for week 6 spot start? I would start Luck. Looks like Luck is gonna play. He's practiced the whole week. He looks sharp from what I hear. I think he's gonna play. So, I mean, if you're scared, then sure, drop Tyrod and grab a quarterback. But I would definitely start Luck. I mean, I have Luck. I'm starting him. My 3 running backs are C.J. Anderson, Charkandrick West, and Carlos Hyde. Should I keep West and C.J. Anderson? I'd keep West for now. I think he's going to be the main guy, like I said. C.J. Anderson, I would keep him for now. I mean, I think he's going to do good this week. I mean, it depends. I mean, you can't give up C.J. Anderson. He's still like the man right now in Denver. Him are splitting carries. You can't just like give him up. There's not. I mean, unless you have like a stacked waiver wire or something to give him up for, or something to trade him for. My 3 running backs. Sorry, Danny Woodhead, Antonio Andrews, or Lynch if playing. I would say Marshawn Lynch every time if he's playing. Yes, he's going to be running like crazy. I know they're playing Carolina this week, but you got to play your studs. And Danny Woodhead's a good start as well, especially if you're in PPR. But I mean, he gets you a lot of catches and stuff like that. But not over Marshawn Lynch going to get the goal line carries. Is Odell playing this week? From what I hear, yes. Him and Ruben Randall have been getting crazy treatment to play. And from what I see so far, they're supposed to play. But I'm not in their locker room. I'm not their training staff, so I'm not sure what that goes. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow early to see if they're going to play. They release those inactive lists, so I would monitor that. That's why I like Dwayne Harris this week. I actually have him on one of my FanDuels. So if you're looking for a FanDuel sleeper, he's probably one of them. Or just a sleeper in general, Dwayne Harris, because of the fact that Odell's hurt and Ruben Randall's hurt. Dwayne Harris is going to get a lot of targets. Should I start Ted Ginn or Doug Baldwin? Good question. I would start Doug Baldwin over Ted Ginn. What do you think about Stephon Diggs as a sleeper this week? In Minnesota, who they're playing in Kansas City, probably a good sleeper considering that they got Mike Wallace and Charles Johnson. I don't know if Charles Johnson is playing. If he's not, but Stephon Diggs is a pretty good receiver. He's pretty explosive. Should I still own Marvin Jones? Yes, unless you have like a bunch of crazy studs at wide receiver that you need to get rid of him for. But yeah, he's gonna have a good game tomorrow because they're gonna, like I said, the Bills are gonna key on AJ Green. Do you still think Dwayne Allen will have a good game again? And would Demaryius Thomas for Keenan Allen be a good trade? You're trading Keenan Allen for Demaryius Thomas? Is that what you mean by that? Dwayne Allen, I don't know about this week. I don't think he's gonna have a great game. And Demaryius Thomas for Keenan Allen, yes. I mean, you're basically getting the same thing. Keenan Allen right now is on fire for San Diego, but Demaryius Thomas, you're talking about a top stud at wide receiver. I would definitely trade for him if I can get him. I mean, it's only a matter of time before him and Peyton completely start hooking up like crazy again. Pick 3 in PPR: Woodhead, Lamar Miller, Kane the Right, Duke Johnson, Alshon Jeffrey replays, or Ryan Matthews. Definitely Woodhead because it's PPR, and Woodhead's a PPR machine. Ken the Right because he gets a lot of targets, and if Alshon Jeffrey plays, probably him. If not, I like Duke Johnson a lot too, but you never know with Ryan Matthews. You never know if it's going to be Ryan Matthews, Sproles, or if it's going to be a lot of DeMarco Murray. So that's the problem with picking those. So at PPR, I would have to say, if I'm picking 3, I would say Woodhead, Kendall Wright, and Jeffrey if he plays. If not, Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson be getting a lot of targets as well. I have Luck and Moncrief. Should I use Moncrief or Hearns? I would say use Hearns right now. Hearns is on fire. I would use Hearns in a heartbeat. Eric Decker or Allen Hearns for flex. If it's between those two, right now I'll take the more healthier. I'd probably say Hearns, but Eric Decker might go off this week against the Redskins. The Redskins have no secondary, and they're going to be keen on Brandon Marshall. So I like Decker this week. I have Luck and I have Moncrief. Oh, nope, sorry. I went to the wrong thing. Julius Thomas, Tyler Eifert. Always start Tyler Eifert. That dude is on fire right now. Start Tyler Eifert. Don't sit him. Forrest. Should I start Justin? I thought you were like Forrest Gump. I was like, wait, Forrest Gump? What? Demaryius Thomas or Moncrief this week. Demaryius Thomas. Always start Demaryius Thomas. Don't not start him because he can go off. Should I start Justin Forsett or Chris Johnson? If Forsett might be hurt, so I would probably go with the guy that's healthy, Chris Johnson. If you want to trust Forsett, go ahead, but he might be hurt and he might be leaving that game. If he gets popped or something happens, I hate starting injured players. Daily fantasy sports, in other words, FanDuel draft. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't understand what that meant. Sorry, I'm not up with the abbreviations, I guess. And I haven't been playing FanDuel long. I've only been playing FanDuel since week 14 of last year, so it's only been 6-7 weeks. Week 14, 15, 16, I think I played, and then I stopped. I didn't play the playoffs, which I didn't even know you could. I didn't realize, and then I started playing this year. So I haven't really played that much. I'm still a FanDuel noob. So I have won money though. I've gotten decent money from it. Not a lot, not like thousands upon thousands of dollars like some of these guys win, but I've done well. I've placed a lot of times, so that's not bad. And I haven't had a lot of entries each time, so it's not bad. But other than that, I'm still a rookie at FanDuel. I'm still trying to figure it out. If you guys want to give me tips so I can win some money. Gates or Kelsey for tight end. Start Gates. I love Gates. Dude he just always gets targets. He always gets the ball. Hearns, Watkins, Wallace, Jonathan Stewart, or Gates for flex. So you need one for flex? If you need one for flex, gotta go for Gates. Or just put in Gates for tight end and then put in, Travis Kelce's going to get a lot of targets too, though. So, I don't know. I might have to say start both of those. Start both those tight ends. Hearns is another good start. I wouldn't start the other wide receivers over any of those two tight ends, though, except for Hearns. Should I drop Carlos Williams and add Christine Michael? At this point, LaShawn McCoy is going to play, and if you have a chance to add Christine Michael, I would add him if he's going to start. Definitely. I've added him, so out of the two, which one is a better pick? Christine Michael or Kendrick West? That is a really good question. I don't know. For offensive line purposes, I'm going to have to say Christine Michael, but we're not sure if he's actually starting yet. That's just a rumor. They're coming off a bye week. He's supposed to. And we're still not even sure if Kendrick West is starting. But I think Christine Michael might end up being the better of the two. Do you have faith in Josh McCown to be a good option for starting? I did last week. I started him. This week, going against the Broncos, I don't know. I don't have faith this week, but I had faith last week. Eric Decker or Jeffrey for flex. I have Julius Thomas. I started Josh McCown over Luck, luckily, because Luck didn't play. So I picked up Josh McCown, stuck him in. Eric Decker or Jeffrey. Eric Decker, I would say. Jeffrey's probably not even going to play. If he does, watch him get hurt again. For flex, I have Julius Thomas, Owen Daniels, and Jeffrey. I would say Owen Daniels. He's been catching touchdowns like crazy. PPR for Jeffrey and Decker. Oh, PPR. I would say PPR. I would still say Decker. He's gonna get a lot of targets. Do you think Lacy bounces back this week against the who are they playing? San Diego? Might be. San Diego can't stop the run, so Lacy might have a good week this week. Yes, I'm 1-4 in my fantasy league. Is my season over? Not necessarily. You can go what? You can finish a season with 7 wins in a row, 6 wins. Even if you have 6 losses, some people make the playoffs. It depends on how many people make the playoffs in your league. I've seen people make the playoffs at 7-6 and win. I've seen it happen. I won one year. Oh, how many weeks was the league? We started playoffs were 15 and 16, so 14 games. I went 7-7 or 8-6 or something. I think it was 8-6. I went and won my league. I was the last team in. I was fourth seeded, and I still won my league. And the reason I did, and the reason I won that league was my big time trade thing. I tell you all the time that I don't make trades unless I have a good matchup for the players that I receive weeks 14, 15, and 16. And that year I happened to be weeks 15 and 16 that that I made the trades for, and I noticed the matchups were really well for those players. So I took the hit with that, with trading the players. I traded, and that same person I played the first game of the playoffs, and he had my players, a couple of my players, and they were horrible. They did horrible, and my two players that he gave me killed it, and he was so mad. He said he should have kept his players, and I was like, the reason I traded with you is because of weeks 15 and 16. And he was pissed at me, but his players went off, and they pretty much got me my title. That was my first ever year of fantasy football, too. Matter of fact, my 2006 is when I started playing, and that was my first ever year of fantasy football, and I won because of that. So I've been on fire ever since then. So that's always been my rule. I never make a trade unless you look ahead of time, and I knew to do that. I was thinking to myself, man, the playoffs are this week. I was like, let me look at what I can do. So I always tell people that if you're going to make a trade, check the weeks out that they're going to be in the playoffs because you want to make sure. But no, you're not out of it. At 1-4, your season's not over. You just got to make some good moves, make the right moves. Try to put the best players you can and hope for the best. Hope they do well in the weeks. I mean, there's nothing you can do when the players get injured or when players just don't do well for you. I'm so glad I picked up Freeman once Coleman got injured. Yeah, I had Coleman. And then what does Coleman do this week? He shows amazing flashes of like he's going to be great, and he fumbles. Oh, worst thing ever. So now Freeman's really going to get the ball like crazy. So I never got the chance to pick up Freeman. So, yeah, that's killing me right now. That part kills me. I still have other good running backs, but, yeah, that part killed me. But good pickup. Ronnie Hillman, Tyler Eifert, or C.J. Anderson is my flex. I would put Eifert. Eifert's on fire. Peyton or Eli this week. Eli. Although Peyton's playing Cleveland, I'd still say Eli. Eagle secondary sucks. Shout out from Australia, which 3 out of Calvin Johnson, T.Y. Hilton, James Jones, and Mike Wallace should I play? Everyone is talking about Mike Wallace's matchup. So don't trust Mike Wallace. I would say T.Y. Hilton. I'd still say play Calvin Johnson, even though they're playing Chicago. Chicago hasn't been given much in the air, but I still say Calvin Johnson. And I still like James Jones. I'm not sure about Mike Wallace's this week. If you want to put Wallace in, feel free. I just, at Kansas City, they have Jason Peters isn't that bad. He's a good cornerback. And, the other side is the problem for Kansas City. But I'd still hold up on Wallace. Traded Cooks for Kelsey in the PPR. Good move or no? Depends if your tight end sucks. I mean, if your tight ends are garbage, then that's a good move. And your wide receiver, Cooks hasn't been doing much. He had one good game last week, and the only reason is because he scored a touchdown at the very last play of the game. Corral might not play. He's my running back too. Charles Sims is on a bye, so there are many options for free agents. Gerhardt, I'm assuming that's Denoris Robinson, Javarius Ellen, Chris Thompson, Andrews. I would take Andrews in a heartbeat and Chris Thompson because Matt Jones is hurt. And somebody's got to spell Alfred Morris, and I've heard nothing good about Chris. I heard nothing but good things about Chris Thompson. Bilal Powell's another good pickup, but Ivory's been running hard, so who knows how much Bilal Powell's going to play. But I would definitely say Chris Thompson and Antonio Andrews, 2 good pickups. Antonio Gates and Martellus Bennett this week, definitely Antonio Gates. I'm sure you spoke about Luck, but I missed it. I'm sorry. I have him. Should I use him? Or Stafford this week? Always play Luck, especially over Stafford. I'm not sure where he's going to play, but I've heard nothing but he's going to play. So he's definitely playing. Cardinals, Patriots, Vikings, or Bengals. If you're talking about defense, I would definitely say we have to say the Cardinals. I know Pittsburgh's offense is good, but they don't have Ben Roethlisberger. If Ben Roethlisberger was playing, I wouldn't say the Cardinals, but they're going to blitz the crap out of Michael Vick. Graham or Barnage at tight end. Barnage has a horrible matchup against the Broncos, but I'd still start him over Graham. That's how bad Graham's playing, and that's how Carolina's defense is pretty good. So I'd still say start Barnage over Graham. That's how bad. Isn't that pitiful that we're saying Gary Barnage over Jimmy Graham? That's how bad the Seahawks are not using him. McCoy or Blount this week. I'm gonna have to say LeGarrette Blount because he always runs well against the Indianapolis Colts. They like to pound him with them. So I think Blount over McCoy. How we feel about Javoris Allen, the wide receiver Baltimore. I mean Javoris Allen, the running back from Baltimore. If he plays, it'd be a good play. But they're playing the 49ers at home. The 49ers have a good run defense at home, especially. They've been playing well. So I don't know about Javoris Allen there. If they get goal line carries, then yeah, maybe he'll score a touchdown. So maybe he is a good play. McCoy or Hyde. I don't like Hyde this week. I'd still rather play McCoy over Hyde. Hyde's got that messed up toe, and it sounds like, from what I've been reading, it sounds like they're going to use Jared Hayne a lot, and they're going to use Mike Davis. So I think they're going to spell him a lot. They don't want to get him completely injured because he's obviously their best running back. I think you're going to see a lot of Jared Hayne this week, though. Russell Wilson or Sam Bradford and Allen Hurns. Russell Wilson or Sam Bradford, I would tell you Sam Bradford because Giants secondary is just hurt. I already talked about Nakamura. You know what? Let me look up his name before I keep butchering this dude's name. I feel bad saying his name like that every time. So I'm going to pronounce it right for you guys. Prince Amukamara. There you go. I said it right now. Sorry about that. It kills me when I say people's names wrong like that. It makes me mad. Prince Amukamara, he's hurt. He's pretty much the Giants' best corner. That leaves just Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. So, obviously they're going to throw the ball like crazy, and you got to pick on them while they're hurt. Well, I didn't even finish your question. Allen Hurns or Jeremy Hill at flex. Allen Hurns. Jeremy Hill, I don't think he's going to do anything this week against that Bills defense. On the Cooks for Kelsey trade, I had Delaney Walker. My receivers are Kelvin Johnson, Brandon Marshall. Backups are Garcon and Hurns. Good trade. You got rid of a guy that hasn't been doing much all year for a guy that's always going to get targets from Alex Smith, and you still have good receivers, so you're straight. Good trade. Should I pick up Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, or Dwayne Harris? I love Marvin Jones this week, and I also love Dwayne Harris. I think I love Marvin Jones over Dwayne Harris, though. As much as I like Dwayne Harris because Beckham and Ruben Randle are hurt, and you don't know if they're going to play, and if they do, how limited they're going to be. I still love Marvin Jones because they're going to double team the crap out of AJ Green, so Marvin Jones is going to get a lot of targets. On the Cooks for sorry, I'm going up ahead of myself. How did you become a Niners fan in New York? All right, all my teams that I do like, this is going to be crazy sounding, but I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I'm a New York Mets fan, and I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. For college basketball, I like the Georgetown Hoyas, and I like the Oklahoma Sooners for college football. All the reasons, Oklahoma Sooners I used to like Brian Bosworth. Watching him when I was a kid, he was the first guy I saw watching as a kid. He was such a stud linebacker at the time. He sucked in the NFL, of course, but I loved watching him as a kid growing up, and I just loved the Oklahoma Sooners. So I am not a person that will leave a team to go to somewhere else. So I've seen the Oklahoma Sooners go through bad seasons, good seasons, horrible seasons. Same with all my teams. The Mets, they were the first team I saw when I was a kid, probably around 1982, 83. That's when I pretty much started watching a lot of sports. It was around 1982, 1983. I was about 7, 8 years old. I was 7, 8 years old. And the Mets were the first team I saw. Just liked them. Started watching them. They ended up winning the title like 3 years later in 86. And they went to the playoffs a lot later. And then there was horrible seasons after that. Then a couple good seasons. And then now horrible seasons. And now they're back again. So it's just that revolving door there for the Mets. San Francisco, the first team I ever saw when I was a kid. I grew up with a lot of Buffalo Bills fans. I did not like the Buffalo Bills. That's my whole family were Buffalo Bills. But the first team I ever saw when I was a kid was the 49ers, and that's who I liked. My whole family was mad at me. You're a Bills fan. I like the 49ers. That's who I liked. That was in a year where they went 3-6, I think, or something like that. It was in 1982. and then they won a title maybe 2 years later as well. And then obviously the 49ers history. And the Lakers, they were the first team I saw when I was a kid. I loved Magic Johnson, and I've been watching them ever since. So I'm one of those people that just do not I won't jump the bandwagon. Meaning I won't go for another team or start liking another team just because they start winning. I stick with my teams through thick and thin. So that's how I became a New Yorker that likes the Lakers and not the Knicks. And like the 49ers and not the Giants or Jets, but that's just who I like, or the Bills, but that's just who I like. Let's move on. Packers D or Chargers versus Chargers, or Vikings D versus Chiefs. Ooh, that's tough. I would say Vikings D because Alex Smith is struggling, so I'll say Vikings D, especially at home. Do you think Andre Johnson will continue to play like he did last week? Depends on who's quarterback. I think this week Andre Johnson will have another good week. I don't know if it's going to be like last week with 2 touchdowns, but he might have a touchdown and about 80 yards, so he might have a decent week this week. If you're looking for a wide receiver 2 or 3, Andre Johnson might be your guy, but I wouldn't. I think he has better play over people that have horrible matchups. So he might be a better play because New England secondary isn't that great. Do you think New York Giants will use Vereen more if Beckham is out? Yes. I think they're going to use him a lot more, period. You saw him, they used him like crazy last week. They won't stop passing the ball to him. So it seems like Eli Manning really likes him a lot, and he's getting used to him. So I think he's a guy that moving forward that's a weapon for him. Antonio Brown or Allen Robinson in the standard league? Right now, Allen Robinson. Michael Vick is not throwing to Antonio Brown. If Ben Roethlisberger was there, we wouldn't even have this conversation. But since Michael Vick is there and he's not throwing the ball to him, I'm going to have to say Allen Robinson. Jonathan Stewart or Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce. Jonathan Stewart's playing against that Seattle defense. You can't run against them. They're not that great. They're not hard. They're not easy to run against, especially at home. Do not sit Gates for Kelce. Carlos Hyde is a man beast. How can you not like him in this week? Only because he's hurt. His foot's hurt, and they're gonna spell him. They keep saying they're not, but I think Jared Haynes gonna play a lot. Not because he sucks. It's because he's hurt. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Something's wrong with his foot. Abdullah, Duke Johnson, or Hyde. If you're giving me those 3, I'd say Hyde, but I do like Duke Johnson because Duke Johnson's getting a lot of targets and Isaiah Crowell's hurt. Okay, cool. I'm the same way. Can't judge you. I'm a Cowboys, Dodgers, UCLA, Bills fan in LA. See, you probably grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the 80s, so this is why I like these teams where you grew up. Oh, I didn't even mention I'm a Georgetown Hoya fan. I loved Patrick Ewing. And he ended up going to the Knicks of all places. And Allen Iverson, I loved him. He went to the Sixers of all people. But I love the Georgetown Hoyas. Just grew up in the 80s and just loved them. I mean, that's the team I saw. All my family, all Syracuse Orangemen fan. I was a Georgetown Hoya fan. Go Mets since 83. And he's from Louisville, Kentucky. 83 and the Niners since 80. See, there you go. Product of the 80s. So you must be a 90s boy because that's the 90s is usually the Cowboys. Well, not so much Dodgers, but UCLA, the Bulls. This is all the 90s teams. Kelce over Stewart. Are you nuts? No, I'm not nuts. Kelce over Jonathan Stewart. Are you talking about Jonathan Stewart, right? And Jonathan Stewart's playing who? At Seattle? Go ahead, start him. Start him over Kelce. I just read that Casey officially stated that Davis would be the short yardage and goal line running back. Does this up his value past West? Yeah, I know he's gonna end up being the goal line back, but for how long? And do they put? What if they do put West in at the during the goal line? What if they don't even get a chance to make it to the goal line because West gets it in? And I don't know. It's up to you to start them. It's messed up because you got to also try to factor in: are they gonna get a bunch of goal line carries, or they're gonna take it right in, or how's that gonna work? That's the horrible part about that. I hate that stuff, but I would definitely still keep Weston. Melvin Gordon or Charkandrick West over Gordon this week. Not about fantasy, but do you think the Cowboys make the playoffs? Um, I'm not sure. I mean, it's just who's to say? I mean, they have to do well until, and right now the division right now is blah. So they have to do well until Romo comes back. So who's to say they? I mean, they can't, but I don't know. Brandon Whedon's been struggling. They're how many games back? They're only one game back. So yeah, they could pretty much win the division if they still play good in their own division and they still do well within their own. Do well with maybe Castle at quarterback because I hear he's starting now. I don't know. We should see. UCLA because I hate USC. There you go. Yeah, you hate USC. You're pretty much a UCLA fan. Um. Oh, you were talking about the guy. Oh, I am tired, man. I've been up late. It's funny that you noticed that. Actually, I'm very tired, man. I was up late last night, and I barely got any sleep today because I had to pick up my daughter. I picked up my daughter at college, took her somewhere, took her around. She needed to get around. Then I took her back, and I haven't slept. Like I haven't slept yet, and I'm tired, and I've been around all day. So when this ends in like 4 minutes, I'm pretty much gonna go out right to the bed. I'm definitely tired. Yeah. No, I think I saw your email. I think you wrote a pretty long email. I saw it. I think I replied. I believe I replied. Like I said, I'm trying to before I take anybody on as writers. I know it just seems like oh boom, you can just come on and write, but I gotta make sure I have a set amount of rules in place, some guidelines to follow, so that everybody's on the same page and everybody's writing, and doing their thing. But we're all having fun doing everything, but it also has to remain, positive. It has to remain, it's just kind of serious. It's my baby basically, my website. So I want to make sure all these writers are on the same page with me, how I want things to look, how I want things to be professional, how I want things to sound. I don't want to sound too, I'm a Niners fan, but I don't want to sound biased towards, certain teams or certain things. If you want to write like certain blogs about things, then that's cool and everything to have an opinion, but I want to make sure opinionated articles aren't like, they suggest any bit of racism or any kind of thing that might be that, or any kind of like sexist remarks, or just I want to make sure things are right. You know what I mean? I don't like swearing in articles. I don't like stuff like that either. So I try to keep profanity out of everything. I don't condone that, nor do I like that. I don't even like my daughter doesn't even cuss. I know it sounds weird, but I try to get my daughter to swear just to see if she says anything, and she doesn't. So that's the kind of things that I like to do with this website and how I'm looking to move forward with my website. So once I get all these rules and guidelines in place and everything, and they sound right, I'm going to send them out to everybody. I'm going to have everybody write for me. I'll put everybody in, whoever I pick to write for the website, I'll put them in certain spots and have them writing for certain things. But people will be writing different things depending on their skill set and depending on what they like to write about. Because I don't want to make you write for something you don't want to. Because then you'll be like Paul Gutierrez from ESPN, who sucks, and he writes about the 49ers, but he's the worst writer in the history of writers I've ever seen. Steve Smith Sr. for Lamar Miller. Are you talking about a trade? Steve Smith Sr. is a freaking beast. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The dude has 2 broken balls. Or I just read your thing. 2 broken bones in his back, or 4 little broken bones in his back, and he somehow still wants to play. Somehow still gonna play. Maybe. How is that even possible? I have Calvin Ty, James Jones, and Dez all my roster. Who would you recommend trading? I can't play all 4 after the bye weeks. So, well, Dez can't even play. I would try to trade at the moment. you might want to try trade Calvin Johnson and see what you can get for him. You might be able to get some decent players for him. And like I said, look at players for weeks 14, 15, and 16. Try to get players off of people. Offer trades for players that are playing that have great matchups for 14, 15, and 16. You might be able to swing a trade for somebody like Calvin Johnson. Somebody's like, what? He wants to trade me these players for Calvin Johnson? You get the players you need. They help you scoring for the rest of the year pretty much. You make the playoffs, and those players might go off on your playoff games because of that. So try to do those things. Look at the matchups. If Calvin Johnson has a good matchup 14, 15, and 16, then don't trade him. Because, he might be the person going off for you. But I'm just saying, like, try to get players. If you want to make a trade really badly, try to get players that have these good matchups for those weeks. And if you have players that already have those good matchups, keep them. Don't trade them. Should I pick up Golden Tate, Jermaine Kearse, Marvin Jones, or Dwayne Harris? And whoever you suggested him on the floor, who should I start? Barnage? Should I start Barnage or that player? I love Marvin Jones, like I said, or Dwayne Harris. Either one of those two are a good pickup, and I would start him over Barnage this week only because they're playing the Broncos, and the Broncos are so tough against tight ends. I wouldn't trade Steve Smith Sr. yet unless you find out he's gone for the year. He's too good of a player, and he's pretty much the only good wide receiver on Baltimore. And Lamar Miller hasn't proven anything, and I still, like I said, Jay Ajayi, he's coming back week 6 or 7, I believe, and when he comes back, I don't trust. I think Jay Ajayi's going to unseat him. As for you, Marvin Jones, I would say Marvin Jones. He's going to get a lot of targets because A.J. Green, like I said, the Bills are going to be all over A.J. Green. I like Marvin Jones this week. And I think I agree, Paul is the worst writer, but if you don't allow swearing, I don't know how I'll survive. Yes, I am. I do not like swearing. Sorry. I don't do it anymore. I erased. If you wonder how I am about that, I have videos up on my old channel about that. I also have I had a channel a long time ago for gaming. It was very popular for a long while. For a quick while, actually, it was really popular. I deleted every video from that channel almost. I kept maybe a couple. But I pretty much deleted every video on the channel because I didn't want to be that example for people. A lot of my videos contain a lot of swearing, a lot of stuff like that, and I'm not that person anymore. So I basically just deleted them all. So yes, I do not like swearing on my videos. I don't think it's professional. I don't think it sounds professional. I know this is just for fun. It's YouTube. I get it. But for me, it's what I like to do. You know what I mean? And I want to, even though I don't have the professional look, I'm in a jersey and a hat, I still like to keep it real, keep it professional, and keep it nice for the children, keep it nice for the adults, keep it nice for, if you're sitting there watching this in your living room, some people watch YouTube in the living room. If you're sitting there watching this and you're with your kids putting your kids to bed, or do you want to hear me swearing? Do you want to hear your kids hear me swearing and all that stuff? They don't want to hear that. So same thing with writing. I don't want, people to have to write it, or kids reading a website and they're on the sports website. The parents are like, what are you reading? And they see a bunch of cuss words all over the place. They're not going to let their kid go back to the website. A lot of people, believe it or not, don't like that. And that's exactly, you don't hear swearing on networks. Eventually, sometimes people might slip or a cuss word might come out or something happens. Things happen. I get it, but I that's just not how I want it to be here. That's just, a lot of people do that. A lot of people like that. Some kids like that. They go to those sites because they like to get fired up and riled up from people swearing and cussing and stuff. I don't. That's not my thing. Who's winning, Niners or Ravens? I'm going to say Niners. I actually like the matchup this week, and I hope they win. I'm going to answer the last two questions. This is it. Last question, actually. Alan Hearns or Allen Robinson for FanDuel? Start both. They did both. They did good last week. I would say start both. You might not get a chance. If not, I'll give you another FanDuel lineup I had this week. I have Aaron Rodgers, Matt Forte, Shane Vereen, DeAndre Hopkins, James Jones, Alan Hearns, Greg Olsen, Graham Gano, and Titans defense for one of my FanDuels this week. So if you play one, get lucky and win. You can thank me later. Hopefully we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's one of my lineups this week. All right, guys, I got to go. It is 12:04. I've stayed on long enough. Best of luck this week in your fantasy football games. Tweet at me if you want. If you have any last minute questions, leave messages on here. I got to get to all these questions on YouTube. I have a bunch of comments, so hopefully it happens. I can get through all of them, but I'm gonna go to bed soon, so I'm tired. All right. So best of luck this week in your fantasy week, and have fun, guys. Enjoy. Win some money on FanDuel and DraftKings. All right. And if you win some, send some my way. That'd be great. All right. All right. Peace, guys.